Hi, old beaver! Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Critzcast here. My name is Jake, and tonight we have a special evening coming right up as the ETF2L Season 16 is all about and done. All the tables already filled in, all the teams already stopped scrimming together, getting ready for the next season. But before we actually move on to the next season, there's still something that we need to do, and that is to give out the awards, which we're going to go and do tonight here on Critzcast. So very, very warm welcome to everybody, the esteemed cast that we have here. But we're going to have to start with introducing them one by one. I'm going to start with the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the Team Fortress 2 guy who is pretty much all about Team Fortress 2. When you see him, when you think about Team Fortress 2, probably there's a guy who's streaming it right about now, and I'm obviously talking about CeeJaey.
Hey.
And then moving on to the next person here with us on this cast here. Obviously, he's the man behind the lines. He's the man who is puppeteering everything that's happening on ETF2L. Without a man, probably this show today would not happen. And I'm obviously talking about the man who is hailing to us from Germany. And I mean here, DCS.
Oh my, what an introduction. Hello guys, good evening.
And there is a man, of course, who is very close to my heart as a kinsman, as a fellow Polish man, leading the team in vision. Obviously, I mean here, STiNGHAN.
Hello.
And moving on to the man who is saying something, hopefully soon, from the team called Fela Esports, as they have been known. Now it's jakeowaty Fela. A man who can probably track a fly on the wall through his minigun, and I mean here, Porky.
Hello.
And then last but not least, the up-and-coming player of this season, man who's been playing for Open Squad as a runner-up here, and hailing to us from Hungary, and I mean here, Nubbi.
Hey.
So, gentlemen, very welcome here, very warm welcome to everybody. I'm really happy to be hosting this for us and for everybody in the chat as well. And how are you guys all feeling tonight? How are you feeling about the season?
It was good. I had fun.
Good. Porky, how about you? I mean, I've been seeing some really sick stuff coming out of your heavy weapons guy. And, well, you've been nominated for the heavy of the season. So how are you feeling about this season?
Break it to you, I don't play heavy.
Oh, you don't? What?
I play sniper.
What? I fail.
Yeah,
well,
it's a pretty good season.
Well, he is nominated for Sniper of the Season, so you got that one right, kind of.
Well, yeah, he's been nominated, but then you have other players as well here. We have STiNGHAN from the Envision, as well as joining us. So how are you feeling about the season as well? How do you feel you did? Is there anything you could...
Okay-ish. I think I did pretty well.
And how about the team? Yeah, how about the team?
Well, we didn't reach playoffs, but we set in Prem, so that's okay. But, you know, I wanted to get playoffs, Team 2, but yeah, we couldn't. We got some stupid games during season. We couldn't play together, and yeah.
Wow, and you'll have to talk about this. I'll talk about it to us a little bit later on. But Nubbi, how about you? How about Open Squad?
The season was pretty good. Expect the end, like it was a bit toxic. So yeah, but the season was pretty good.
Because there's some things happening on ETF2L with Open Squad. I saw a lot of people actually leaving, and you included.
Yeah, we are not gonna play next season because Strono and Justice is gonna play for BMS. Clark and Sprayer is gonna play for SD. And Morgy is just gonna play the season. And Mezzo is gonna play for Fate.
Oh, so basically you guys splitting up.
Yeah.
And that is just kind of due to the toxicity of the team.
Yeah.
But you did end up, in third place. You got yourselves the bronze medal, which is pretty respectable considering. Because when you look at the tables on ETF2L, which is really surprising for you, CeeJaey, as well, Fela Esports and Strong Opinions tied in points. Actually, Fela on the tables appear as first.
Because it's alphabetical order, mate.
Yes.
It's rigged.
And of course, it's rigged, but at the same time, you did win the last game against them. But from what I know, it was not a very easy game.
It was the first game of the season. Like I remember in the preseason, we were kind of like, oh, the one team we don't want to play in the first week is Failure because they were proper on it. Like they played RGL, they played UGC, they were proper warmed up. And like the strong opinion, I suppose, ethos at the moment is we're not ever warmed up. So we kind of came into the season just on the back of throwing together a team. And it was the Badwater game where we had really good defenses, and then there was that one round where we couldn't push first for some reason, where we just couldn't break it down. So yeah, we dropped points to them, and then we dropped points to Envision on Steel, I think it was, which Steel is just a coin flip half the time. But we knew as long as we didn't drop points to any more teams and we had the same amount of points, we'd win the head-to-head. But yeah, I mean, just kind of skin of the teeth kind of thing, scraping through.
Yeah, because you said you dropped points on Steel to Envision, and this is a question because I really do love the map myself. I always say whenever we cast that map, that is one of the best Highlander maps because the underdogs can really take it over the people who actually playing better or have a better standing, and it's a map to actually win against the titans that are top of the list. So, STiNGHAN, tell me, were there any strategies that you employed on Steel? Why did you actually, for example, took some points off of Struck Opinions on that map?
Well, we started on defense, and they had like 3 minutes for 3 points, and then, well, I dropped CeeJaey twice on E. We managed to hold for like 8 minutes or 9, and then on offense I went through drop down. I dropped CeeJaey again, and we just smashed them on B. And we coordinated to cap C and E same time, and yeah, it was like 4 minutes for us on offense.
So basically kind of trying to take down the man himself, just take down CeeJaey and you basically win.
Yeah,
that is the strategy.
I'm gonna cut you off there, Jake. It wasn't teamwork at all, it was STiNGHAN. Yeah. He got me. He did the whole thing on B where, we're on B and we're just comfy, we're having a picnic, like there's nothing troubling us whatsoever. But he just kind of just jumps down, drop down, and gets a full charge body shot on me before anyone noticed. And I was like, oh, damn. And then he dropped me later on. It's just kind of one of those maps where you make an error and it's a big problem. But if you have 2 errors in the same round, then, you're really scrambling for a problem there. So he basically won his team the points on that round.
And then when it comes to basically the map pool, what do you guys think about the map pool for this season in particular? I mean, we did see some Borneo, and I'm not really sure about that map. It's a bit too long in my opinion, but maybe
Borneo.
Well then UGC, well, it's kind of blending together, okay, but still but this question is kind of aimed at newbie as the one that is coming into this league for the first season. So what do you think of map pool? What do you think about how the team has played on those maps, and if the strategy is really that important for the Highlander plays?
The map pool is pretty good. It was pretty good, and we were pretty good on payload maps, but we were not that strong on COT maps, I think.
Yeah, because you had COF Coal Plant, you have COF Product, and you have COF Wormtic. So 3 out of 7 maps were COF maps, and then you have 2 CPs, which was Steel and Gollywash. So yet another very long maps, and then you have PL Upward and PL Badwater. So the very staple, very standard Highlander maps that if you kind of know how to play Team Fortress 2, then you probably know how to play those maps as well.
Yeah.
So question to Porky, as you're the sniper for the team and you're nominated, who do you think was the highest threat for you as a sniper main as well? Who was the one that was giving you the most trouble as a sniper?
Cloudy and Toast. Those two. They're really good. So it was Toast would just 2-shot you with the Ambi, even though it's been nerfed, and he'd still run DR and he'd still make it work. So there's like, what can you do about it? Then Cloudy would just headshot you if you peeked. So yeah, it was tough playing against those two in the final.
And do the rest of you actually agree with this? Has Cloudy been really that much of an issue from Strong Opinion?
I heal him and he kills a bunch of people. It's really good. So, and Toast, I think like it's cool that Porky mentions both of them because it really is a tandem thing. Like Toast's calls on sniper locations and what he's doing. Like we always know like 90% of the time where the sniper is, when he's going to peek, what angle he's going to look at. Like we have so much info from Toast. And if he doesn't kill him, then Cloudy's prepared to take the shot on him. And if we always have the sniper advantage, then it helps him just frag everybody else. I mean, there was a few decent snipers this season. Like Porky was obviously one. Piney had some good games as well. So, I mean, it's probably not as many big names as in the past, but yeah, I mean, I can't really tell. I don't play against Cloudy, but I feel that he does a lot.
Well, yeah, I've been watching him play as well, and it's always been kind of like, oh, Cloudy got a single, oh, double headshot, triple headshot, quadruple headshot, and just keeps going. The entire enemy team just dies, and you can't feel but sorry for the other team that is playing against Cloudy, because it's just such an annoying class to play against, isn't it, Porky? Or STiNGHAN? It's such an annoying class to kind of get yourself together, and you just prepare a whole push, you have Uber ready, you have everybody ready, and then you lose Demo Man, you lose Heavy, you lose Medic. And what do you do then? Like, because we've seen a couple of times actually this season, and I'm not sure if you guys actually employ this strategy as well, but kind of if you lose your Medic or someone in the push, you push anyway, and you look for the other kill, look for the other Medic, or look for an equalizer. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, that's what you've got to do. You've got to go for that aggro peak if you lose those players to try and equalize it and salvage something out of it.
Because in the previous season, it wasn't as aggressive as this season was, actually. Like, we've been casting here with Gamma, the Div1 Premiership, which we also have to talk about, because we have some people coming into the Premiership out of the first place, Div as well as the runner-ups. So Kitty is back in Badami, and you have Ugandan Pizza Police. So what do you guys think about it? Nubbi or CeeJaey, what do you guys think about it?
No.
I think I watched like the last game, the last map, because they didn't go 3 maps. And I think the last one was a golden cap as well, so it was probably close between those guys. I mean, Kitty's played in Prem before, and a lot of their players, like I'm off the top of my head, I think Fuzky was their sniper, and they had was it Poker on Heavy? Like they had like 3 or 4 players who played Prem before, like Pahan and stuff with Kitty, so they were the more experienced team going into it. And Pizza Police, I think, have been in high for a few seasons now, and they've always been there or thereabouts in the playoffs. So it was a really entertaining game. But yeah, that could have gone either way, like looking at that game. But I think when you've got players with a slightly more experience, like I guess they just had the slight edge in the end.
And the rest of you, what do you think about Kitty? What do you think they have a chance fighting against the top 3, top 4 of the league?
They would have done, but we did steal Poker. Depending on who they replace in, they could have a good season, but I expect them to slot in 5th or 6th or 4th, that area.
And it's mostly a Russian team, so Russian nationals kind of getting back into the Premiership. They had some teams before. But yeah. Speaking of teams and rotations, actually, what are the newest transferring news coming at you guys? You did steal Nubbi the Poker, right? You did steal Poker. Which is
stole Mezzo as well.
Oof.
And Dreamy's coming to main scout.
Oh,
because
that's gonna be
back to Super Dickmans.
That's gonna be a difficult team, Porky. It's difficult. What the rest of you think? Do you think that those additions are going to really make it for Fela?
Depends if Dreamy goes pool or not. No, I mean like Dreamy's like been around for a long time. He's a really good scout, and Poker has been around for a long time. And he's played with Fela for a long time in sevens as well. So they've got that cohesion there. It's basically just going back to, I would say, those 2 players on Fela are more familiar with them than May and Ripe this year. Like, that those 2 together were kind of new additions for Season 16. And Poker and Dreamy is kind of more used to their older roster. So, I wouldn't say downgrade, I wouldn't say upgrade. I'd say that they're just kind of switching roles, and who knows if it'll work better.
And there's one more question for actually all of you, including the ECS, because we did in C a ban on 2 weapons this season on whitelist, and those are the jakeowaty and the Mad Milk. And first question actually goes to the ECS. Why did you decide to ban these weapons? Just in particular, is there anything specific that actually made you ban them?
Well, actually, like, we got a lot of complaints about the Mad Milk. First and foremost, because like every scout was just auto running it. It can be really strong on like tiny cosmets like product and stuff. But when we considered like banning the Mad Milk, we like really fast came to the conclusion that if you have to take that away, then you also need to ban the jakeowaty, because people are gonna complain like right away, why ban Mad Milk and why not jakeowaty, which is a fair point. it also can like force your combo to play really passively in a situation where you don't really need to, just because you're covered and you're like afraid to drop or something. So we decided to take these out, see how it goes, and basically evaluate after the season what kind of feedback we got from it.
So how about the feedback now, guys? What do you think about this strategy or the whitelist actually coming into effect? How did the ban of those two weapons actually affect you? Maybe start with STiNGHAN. Why don't we?
Yeah, so for me, like, ban Jarati and Meek was a good idea, but then, Spice with Spice Cycle were fucking annoying, because they could just run away without, like, any teammates, so that was really, really annoying to chase them.
All right.
And in my opinion, if that would be great if we could, I don't know, maybe ban Spice Cycle to just, if we ban Jarati and Milk just to make, Spy easier job, then we can ban Spice Cycle as well. Why not? We could consider that in pre-season cup.
Yeah, we did have the conversation about how basically Spy is buffed when you ban these two weapons, but Spy has been nerfed in the last two balance changes so much that we felt like we could try take the risk here.
Okay, and how about the rest of you guys? Did the ban actually influence your gameplay much? Porky, sorry, too many POK names. Porky. How about you? Because you're a sniper, right? So how did that affect you?
Well, I would have run dry probably on every map if it was unbanned. But it being banned didn't make much of a difference in my gameplay at all. I was just a bit less aggressive, because usually with the dry I'll be with the combo, ready to throw it in. But
and what did you run instead of it?
Depending on the map would have been Razorback, Cozy Camp, or SMG.
And Nubbi, how about you guys? How about Open Squad?
We didn't have any problems with banning Mad Milk and Jarati. Like, Stance is a 60s main, so we didn't have problems with it. I don't know, we didn't have problems with it. I think these bans were pretty good. Understandable.
And CeeJaey Cloudy, has he been complaining about it?
No. I mean, he was never really a Jarati guy. When we played with Milchman, he always used to use Jarati, even before when the Razorback before it was nerfed. But I think Cloudy just runs the Cozy Camper or the SMG. I'm not really sure. Like, I didn't really spot any difference. I know that Scouts used to run the Milk a lot. I remember when he used to play with Funds, he always used to say how OP it was because he'd just throw Milk and stuff and then just kill everyone because he was just getting healed every time he got a meat shot. So I guess it kind of made sense if they were being abused in that way. But we didn't really have anyone complaining. Like Philjack and Cloud didn't really complain about the jars very much.
All right. So it seems that the test has been successful in a way. Well, but before we actually delve into this conversation a little bit more than we already did, how about we move into the nominations themselves, because this is what the people have came for. So how about DCSU bring us into the first category of tonight's award show, which will be the Scout one.
Yeah, for Scout of the Season, we received nominations from all the Prem teams, actually for all categories. We asked the Prem teams who they thought would be worth nominating, and every team had one vote for one vote, as in you vote as a team, and you could nominate up to 3 players for each category out of everyone who played at least 3 regular season or 4 total games in the season in this category or class, just so you know how it worked. So it's not the admins nominating their besties or anything like that. It's actually the peers voting for it. And for Scout of the Season, we had nominated Viljack, Zorix, and Wish.
Can I just come in here and ask why May H wasn't nominated? How many votes did he get? Nominations did he get?
May?
Yeah.
He actually had 1 nomination only.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah, I checked upon that right when the show started.
How many games did he play this season, though? I swear you guys use different scouts quite a lot.
Yeah, we had different scouts for the regular season. He would have played 3 games in the regular season if Kronk was a good team leader. But he only played 2. But then he played both playoff games, so he played 4.
Yeah, he would have been eligible to vote, but I think most people didn't really know that because he didn't play the regular season.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't question the nomination, so like I just kind of like collect them and put them into polls. I'm not like, hey, did you forget me? Like, that's not my task.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's completely objective or subjective in terms of the teams themselves, right? So, DCS, how about you break it to us? Who has actually won the Scout of the Season award?
Gladly. In third place, with the lowest percentage and votes of the evening, Vish, with 5.5% of the votes. I think he was an American scout. I actually didn't know him until he got nominated, so maybe a lot of people felt like that as well. So that's between Sorex and Viljak, and the crown goes to the drumroll. Viljak with 51.8%, and Sorex comes in second place, 42.7%. Congratulations.
Oh, there you go, boys. Congratulations. And that's actually not a really big difference, is it?
It's quite close, considering. One of the closer votes for sure tonight.
I think Sorex would have got a lot of the sixes votes, and Viljak would have got a lot of the votes that people who played against him and watched him. The kid's nuts. I mean, playing on medic, you don't really get to see what your flank's doing a lot of the time. But you just see the kill feed, and you just see like 10, 11, 12, just constantly just killing things. And when you got someone who can do that, then it works really well. I mean, Sorex is an absolutely insane scout. I think he actually top fragged when we played against him, and considering he was on the team that finished bottom of the table, you've got to give like kudos to that. Like the fact that he can still pump out insane numbers, being on arguably the weakest team if they finish bottom. So, I mean, but yeah, well done.
Well, that concludes us with the Scout of the Season award. Congratulations, Viljak. Very well deserved. I'm glad to have met you at LAN in Copenhagen. But we're going to be moving on to the second award of tonight, which will be the Soldier of the Season. And the DCS bring us the results.
The results of the nominees.
Well, first and foremost, the nominees, and then the results. See what happens.
Nominated were Jacklegs, Included Middle, and Nubbi. And in third place, we actually had Included Middle with 18.5% of the votes. So Nubbi is still in the race, but unfortunately Jacklegs wins Soldier of the Season with 53.0% and Nubbi with 28.6%. So quite a margin there.
Well, congratulations to Jacklegs, and congratulations to Nubbi to actually getting the second place in nominations. I mean, there's a lot of players playing in the league and in the Premiership, but getting a runner-up in your first season as well in Premiership, that's pretty respectable.
Yeah, how do you feel about that, Nubbi? Did you expect to place second, or were you like, sure?
To be honest, I didn't really. I thought I'm gonna get third. Like, Middle is a better soldier he's a better soldier than me, I think.
Aw.
Same with Jacklegs.
So humble. Not only the first season, but humble as well. I think you deserve it, because honestly, Open Squad, saying you said yourself, it's been a pretty toxic situation there, but you still finished in the middle of the table on the third place, and that's very, very respectable. And you shouldn't really take away from your own success, but Jacklegs winning that one, I don't think that's much of a surprise, actually, because this man is really insane sometimes. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree, yeah. I mean, I'm going to bring in the stats, because I know Justice isn't here, or Snuggles, or 147, whatever you know him as. But he put the stats together for this season. It's quite interesting when you look at all the numbers. Like, Middle actually had some decent numbers this season. He had Middle had the second highest kills per minute, and Nubbi had the highest. Jackie was actually a little bit further behind. They had like really high air shots and KDs and stuff like that. But when it come to damage, like Jackie just had like insane damage. She had most air shots and things like that. So I think Soldier is one of those classes where it's not always the numbers that kind of tell the whole story, which I suppose every class is like that. But yeah, Jackie does make huge plays all the time, and he's really strong at flank. I think Middle has been around for a while now, and everyone kind of knows what he's capable of. But for Nubbi to come in and put those kind of numbers in his first season is quite impressive as well.
I think Jacklegs plays a much more mature soldier. Like, he's one of those soldiers who would like always be up, pretty much. That's just to shut down the flank, right? Like, whereas like younger or like newer soldiers in Prem would go for like the flashier kind of plays. But Jackie understands his role. I think. I don't think a strong opinion is someone who relies on their soldier that much, like other teams, to make big plays, because they got Cloudy and they got Emilio, like a huge presence in the combo. So I think he understands that and he plays accordingly, and I think it's well deserved that he won Soldier of the Season here.
And to be fair, like I don't know what to say about Nubby or Middle, but I know that Jackie singing "No Johnny, No Sugar, Papa" song during the final is the thing that helped us win. So I mean, if the other soldiers can do that as well, then that's an extra string to their bow.
I'm sure glad we don't tune in into comms anymore.
I think although Middle was a bit hard done by only getting that low of a vote, because he does exactly what Jackie does, but arguably better in some situations. So yeah.
Well then, we should probably move on to the Pyro class, Pyro of the Season. DCS, bring us the nominees here for this category.
The nominees were Yahoo, Vclox, and Strino. And the results, hang on a second. We did have Strino in third place with 18.3%, and Vclox in second place, sorry mate, 28.2%, and Yahoo very convincingly takes Pyro of the Season with 53.4%, the highest percentage yet. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And yeah, Pyro. Pyro is a class that doesn't really get that much shine. I think Steve was the first one in Highlander who actually managed to get Pyro to like a very enjoyable to watch level. And then after all the Pyros after that kind of tried to emulate him. And I think Yahoo is one of those Pyros who can really do everything and do it well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think like the problem back in the day with Pyro was Steve would always win because he was really good and he always put it good stats and always did like flashy things. And I think when he stopped playing, you got a lot of good Pyros around these days, like Yahoo, Sinrise, Garden Fungus, Ascendery still playing here and there, like Vclox, obviously this season, Strono. I think at the start of the season, Vclox was one of the people that we had our eye on to kind of try and make sure we countered because he always kind of just barreled in and did a lot of damage. But yeah, it's kind of Pyro's role has changed a lot. So the style of Pyro is very different these days compared to like 2 years ago or something.
And you guys also agree with that?
Yeah.
I think the vote just got like interesting ever since Steve left the scene. Like, not to hate on Steve, he's probably the best Pyro to ever play the game. I still have to see a Pyro who plays better than him and plays as dominant as him. I remember we got wrecked at Deutschland by him. Like, he top fragged against us and top damage. I don't know how that's impossible, but so like whenever he was on Pyro of the Season votes, he would get like 60-70%, and yeah, well, everybody already knew how it went. So like, I'm really enjoying the competition that has risen ever since he left. Although it's really sad that he did leave because he was a cuddly bear.
Aww. Well, that concludes us with Pyro of the Season, and we're moving to a very interesting and very closely matched category of the award show, and that is obviously the Demo Man of the Season.
Demo Man of the Season nominees. We had Joe, Eames, and Murphy. It was a close vote, actually. Murphy, not so close, third place, 14.5%. I think that was to be expected, seeing as the other demos are really dominant. And the Demo Man of the Season, once more, goes to Joe, 45.9%, and Eames 39.5%. So only 6% between them. Congratulations to Joe.
Wow. Finally someone else than not from Strong Opinions. Finally a representative of Fela Esports.
Yeah, I mean, I think Joe's deserved this award for like the past 3 seasons. He's consistently the best player on Fela, consistently putting out all the damage and still main calls, so as he would say, it's easy Highlander.
Didn't he win before though? I just said once again, but I think you won.
The past like 3 seasons, he's come second, I think.
Okay.
I think the past few seasons it's been like Adiski, Ali, Spelly, like players like that have always won from what I can remember. So yeah, that'll be his first one. I mean, I voted for Eames because I thought he did really well this season, and if you look at the numbers, like he did miss a few games, but in the 3 games he did, he had like over a kill a minute. No one else was even close to that. And like he had the best stats like everywhere except for damage, which obviously like he came in 3rd on that one. But like I think like when you look at the stats, Eames' stats were much better. But you know, he did miss a lot of games. He didn't play in the final. Like we had a Adiski play in the final, and Joe just does so much for Fela that like he's always going to stand out. He's always like, I don't think like, not saying that they wouldn't reach the final, but they wouldn't be as good if it wasn't for the fact that Joe like just pulls off nutty things all the time, and the fact that he like just tells his team what to do. Like he is like the embodiment of the team. So yeah, it's a deserving award. I mean, it's about time he won one.
And we'll have to talk about Murphy as well, because you did say that he got the lowest votes, but he is also a very good and very, very consistent player. It's just, I'm not sure if it was the situation in open squad, nubbi, that actually caused the team, but I think that Murphy was one of the players that was really shining on that team despite the situation.
Yeah, Murphy did pretty well, but the problem was like in the whole team, like our comms were toxic, and everybody did a bit worse because of it. I think, at least me, because you couldn't focus that well, and everybody like some people are screwing on each other.
I think Murphy has been kind of known for like having not a questionable character, but you know at times he can be really toxic, and sometimes even though he's like not the source of toxicity, but he like adds to it once there is like a sliver of it. So I have not actually played in a team with him yet. I've played maybe like a couple of pucks, but from what I heard, he's you know, there's like only a few people who really like synergize with him really well. Like back in the days, there was who was this German heavy that went to NG?
Zamp.
Yeah, Zamperoni. Like these two were like really good together, but apart from that, I think skill-wise, Murphy is really good though. Like he's a really talented demo man.
Yeah, we never saw him as a threat really, because like he'd die way too much and never really get many kills.
Yeah.
So.
How come he got nominated though?
I don't know. I don't think he was the third best demo in Prem, that's for sure.
Before we delve into that a little bit too much, gonna be moving on to the heavy of the season, and that's yet another category where people are incredibly close with their skills. So DCS, how about you bring us the nominees and the winner of that category?
He was incredibly close, and also the nominations were incredibly close. I actually had to apply a tiebreaker to get the third nominee. So Emilio was in the votes with 5 nominations, Reipe with 4, and Sinrise, Snuggles, or Justice, and Kresnik each had 3 nominations. But I did decide in favor of Kresnik because he played more games and had better stats. So I had to play some kind of tiebreaker. So I'm sorry to Sinrise and Snuggles. I'm obviously biased towards the American heavy. So yeah, Emilio, Reipe, and Kresnik were nominated, and the US boy got into 3rd place, 21.2%. And winning heavy of the season, Highlander season 16, is the man, the myth, the legend, Emilio Estevez, with 53.8%, Reipe 25%. So yeah, more than double of the votes. Congratulations, Emilio.
Well done.
He's the best, man. He's the best. What he lacks in hair, he makes up in gameplay.
He's the brain of strong opinions.
Well, he was the best before sometimes, but he still didn't get heavy of the season, right? Wasn't that a meme?
The meme is that in season 5, he was like, he carried Killswitch. He didn't carry them, but he was like the embodiment of the perfect Highlander demo. And he lost the award to Cadus for demo of the season. And he always mentions it about how he was the best demo, but he didn't win. And then he, like season 9 and 10, People were like, oh, he was like, oh, I should win heavy this season, and then Catman won it. So he's won one before in season 11, I think, but he's done really well this season. Like a lot of people always talking about his brain and the main calls and stuff, but like he had all the best stats. If we look at the numbers, but we don't have the numbers. But if we he had the best stats this season, and I think like there was a lot of heavies in the past who haven't played, and he just stood up like out above everyone else. Like Snuggles did really well as well. He's always been a good heavy for a long time now. Like he's been in Prem for like longer than people realize, I think, because he's been in Prem since season 9 or so. But yeah, I think Emilio was like gameplay wise one of the best heavies as well.
And the runner-ups as well. I mean, Raipe from Fela Esports.
Yeah, Rape had a really good season. Yeah, I think he was probably the second best behind Emilio. So yeah, I think that's deserved second. Yeah. Not really much to say. He shoots things in the combo.
Well, you know, heavies are not really a flashy class, right? It's very difficult to kind of stand out from the crowd, but I think the more crafty heavy, the more standing out. Like, he just creates situations where heavy is not supposed to create situations. That's kind of where Emilio really kind of shines. Because what he was doing is just kind of being really crafty and also being really good. So, you know, you can be crafty but without having the aim, or you can have the aim but just kind of stand at the back. And Emilio was kind of trying to combine those two things, and seeing that the heavy class, which has been nerfed really heavily back in the day, kind of come out on top like this again. It's really nice, refreshing to see, I think. Well, that concludes us with the heavy, and then we're moving on to the engineer of the season. And here are the 3 nominees.
Yeah, nominees were Spamfest, Sek, and Clark. And this was the closest category overall. All 3 got a fair amount of nominations here. And I know the Clark memes may or may not continue. But in 3rd place, we had Sek from Strong Opinions with 26.9%, which is the highest percentage of the 3rd placed guy in the class votes. And the engineer of the season, CeeJaey, is already gone in hiding. But I have to disappoint you. It's Spamfest!
Ooh,
37.2%, and Clark 35.9%, so only 1.3% difference. But congratulations, America got the title.
Well deserved.
Finally.
I think
Really?
Spamfest deserved. 100% he deserved. Clark didn't deserve second though. But Spamfest deserved the energy.
Why not? Why Clark didn't deserve the second?
Because Sek is like, he's the living embodiment of engineer. How has his kid not got a fucking award? Sorry. How has he not got an award yet? Season after season, he does so much. Like, Spamfest is nuts, and Spamfest carries Phaelor and Payload. I have to say it. He does some insane things that we don't even realize what he's done until after the game. But every season, Sek is just doing so much work, and he never gets recognition for it. It's heartbreaking. I just want to go over and hug him now. Like,
Did he win last season though?
He didn't win. Cherry won last season. But he's never won, and it's sad. He does so much. You look at his numbers; it's nuts. Look at the numbers, but also look at his gameplay.
I know you like to say look at the numbers, but remember.
But we don't see the numbers.
Doesn't have any of Phaelor cough because we got
a
win. So
there was a moment where on Badwater against Phaelor in week 1, we were like 4 players down, and they were pushing 3rd, and it was like, okay, we're gonna have to back out to last. And Sek went on a 7k. A 7k as engineer to save the point. I mean, I've never seen someone do that. I'm a part of me's died inside tonight, guys. I'm sorry. Porky, talk about Spamfest.
really good. He just does these plays with his Wrangler, somehow gets up to 3rd on Badwater with his Wrangler, and like kills people. I've never seen anyone do that before. It's pretty nuts. And he just has really good DM as well, and a big brain. And it really shows.
I mean, I know, like, you know, Sek may like deserved an award over the last season for sure. But like, I'm not having played in Prem, like, what is Clark good at the engineer class? Because like he gets a ton of recognition, always gets a ton of votes. Sometimes he even wins. Like there must be like something to it, right? It can't be only a meme. Because you guys nominate him every season.
I think it's a question to newbie.
I don't know. Clark did well, I think, but I can't say that much about him. Like I don't remember, to be honest. Like he did good things for sure. He was good.
It's just the case of a man whose fame really kind of goes in front of him and we're like paves the path rather than him showing him skill. But you know, not to really detract from Clark, of course, because he's been playing around the scene for a very, very long time, and I think the recognition he has is deserved. But I think his playstyle may have gotten a little bit too stale, and this is why Spamfest, or as CeeJaey got really worked up on, Sec, kind of edge him out on this because they're a little bit more creative. They get really interesting with their plays, and they always try to think of something new with the class that is kind of boring to play. So while Clark kind of stays in the past, Spamfest and Sec really think of new strategies on how to use the class. That's just my opinion on this. I mean,
fair enough.
From what I've seen. But moving on to the next section of the award show here, Medic of the Season. And this one's going to be interesting, of course, because one of the nominees is in here as well.
Indeed, we have our very own CeeJaey nominated. We had Layla nominated, and we had Tyrsho. 2 Polish medics in the top 3, and actually Graba, also a Polish medic, just did not get in. So we almost had like 3 of those.
It makes me so happy.
I don't know how there's so many good medics in Poland.
It makes me so happy. So many good medics. Polish as well. It's like goalkeepers in football. It's just all the good goalkeepers come from Poland. I mean, some of them.
Germany. Cough. Anyways, moving on to the results. We did have Tyrsho in 3rd place, 21.9%. And this season, Layla got 2nd place, 29.4%, and CeeJaey wins it with 48.7%. Congratulations, Padas.
Thank you.
Did you really think it's gonna be any other way, CeeJaey?
I don't know. Like, you never know. I can't really judge my performance. I have to have other people judge me, you know. And I can't really judge other medics' performance because we never see it. It's like like you say, it's like goalkeepers in football. You never see across the battlefield. You never meet eye to eye. So you never know how they're performing. So I don't know. It could go either way. I think Layla played probably the best season she's played, and Tyrsho, he did really well. If you look at his numbers, he had some really good stats as well. So yeah, I think we I can't remember who we nominated, but I think Grabber he did pretty well. He always does vaccinate things. He did Vaccinator against us when we played. He always has some interesting strats with that.
And
I can tell you who you nominated.
Yeah, go on.
You nominated Tyrsho, Graba, and CeeJaey.
Not nominating Layla, CeeJaey? Got something to say about Layla's medic gameplay, CeeJaey?
I ask my boys, and they give me the
feedback.
feedback.
Competition.
No, but
a word on Layla. She's definitely getting better. Every season she gets better. So next season she'll take the 1st place prize. I believe in her.
I think so too. I think the Joan UFC and Layla combo has been working together for I don't even know how many years. They've been playing together since like the very low leagues in UGC, and they moved their way up, and now they're playing in Prem and then the UGC Platinum, and it just works. Like the synergy, you can feel the synergy coming out of them. Like they understand each other without words, and I'm not sure if it's just like the feeling that we have on the other side of the screen, or if it's actually in the game, Porky, that they actually just do stuff without talking to each other.
Yeah, that happens a lot actually, when they'll just do something and we won't know they're doing it, but it will somehow work out. So yeah, it's starting to pay off now, the amount of seasons they've played together. So when the more Layla gets better, the more Joe gets better because he's alive more, because he gets more heals and stuff like that. So the team just gets better.
STiNGHAN, what do you think of Tertio's development as a medic?
Well, I think like Tertio did pretty well, considering that we got we didn't get top 3. Like look at this, like he got silver healings, 3 drops. Like CeeJaey got 9 drops. Lily got 8 drops. Like he did pretty well. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that he didn't take 2nd place. Yeah, happens.
Dude, Tertio can play like anything. I swear I've seen him play in games as like heavy, demo, medic.
Yeah, he played one map as demo.
Yeah, he's like detoed in a way that
Yeah.
I see people who play really well on like a multitude of classes.
Well, and there you go. Once again, CeeJaey, very, very congratulations for getting the medic of the season. I think it's deserved. I think you've been playing around for such a long time with strong opinions as well. So I think like this is well deserved. But Layla and Tertio really coming up very close to you as well. They also deserve the recognition they got here in the nominations. So well done. And of course, like I said, 2 Polish people in the medic section really, really do warm my heart. But we have to move on here to Sniper of the Season. And once again, we have a very, very strict competition going on here.
Yes, indeed. We do have nominated Cloudy from Strong Opinions, Kunu from Tourette's Chess Club, French Club? I don't know.
Club this time.
French Club this season. And of course, ETF2L Admin and guest show Porky or Proky. I have bad news though, Proky. You did place 3rd with 12.2%. Yeah, but you made it into the nominations. You made it into the votes, into the poll. And the closest vote of tonight is between the winner and the runner-up of Sniper of the Seasons. Only 4 public votes are between them. Not even 1%. So I think we can say these 2 snipers are both insane, and they both would have deserved to win. But Kunu places 2nd place, and Cloudy wins the trophy, 44.4%, and Kunu 43.5%. Congratulations, Cloudy.
Well done.
He's the
Well
best.
done.
Yeah, he is.
I think Porky should have had more votes there. I feel like when we went into the final, we had to think of strats, but we had to like think about how Porky was going to play, because he's always like really, I guess the word is dedicated. He always holds that line. We always have to kind of, have to deal with him because he's really consistent. But I feel Cloudy, like I said at the start of the show, like I heal him and he frags, and Toast tells him where people are, and then he just kills them. So, I mean, yeah, I'm glad Cloudy won. Cooney's obviously done really well as well. Cooney's a crazy sniper too. I mean, there's a lot of good snipers going around these days.
And how do you feel about that, Pork?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Cloudy was by far like the best sniper that we played against this season, and he probably made the biggest difference on his team out of all the snipers. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He was pounding really well.
No pun intended. And then Nubbi, how do you feel as well?
Yeah, Cloudy deserved it, I think.
And then Kunu played for Tourette's French Club, but did end up last. But him actually getting nominated and getting the 2nd place here, it's actually quite surprising to me, because like Tourette's French Club really did not win that many games. Actually, they didn't win any games.
I mean, he played really well, but I think he got carried a bit by the 6 votes, because now he just made Prem 6s, so everyone's on the Kunu hype train, so he got bumped up a bit by that. But yeah, he's really good as well. He got like mad kill streaks against us on Steel of all the maps we played against him, so yeah.
And of course, Porky being 3rd, by no means it's a bad spot. It's still a nomination. You're still on the top 3, and if not this season, then the next one.
Maybe, but I was expecting 3rd, to be fair. I was surprised I was nominated. Didn't have a great season apart from the final, so yeah.
Well, and congratulations to Cloudy on the 1st spot. And we're moving into the Spy of the Season, the last class on the list here, as we're moving to nominations, DCS.
Yes, gladly. Nominated for Spy of the Season were Toast, Mezzo, and Archie. Archie? I don't know. Funnily enough, Toast and Mezzo were nominated by all 6 teams. That was the only case that 2 people got nominated by all teams. So Archie by 4 teams, and the only Spy to be nominated except all the 3s is Granger, but only once, so he didn't make it in. In 3rd place, we had Archie with 18.7%. In 2nd place, Mezzo 27%, and Toast doubled the votes, 54%. Wins Spy of the Season.
Congratulations. So Toast, I'm not gonna ask CeeJaey as how the Toast played. I want to ask everybody else, how did Toast manage to get into your backs?
Well, Toast did really, really well. As you could see in final, he was really carrying his team. He did amazing things on product. Mez was also good. He was carrying his team to 3rd place, as you could see on logs. But yeah, like, Toast just did better.
The rest of you guys, newbie?
I don't know. I think Mezzo did really, really well. But Toast also did really good. Very well. So...
The difference with Toast to everyone else is if he's not being able to get the picks by using his knife, he just equips the DR and Ambi and still gets really good frags, so he can just do it all really. But shout out to Ajay, he was really good this season, especially on Koth. He like pounded really hard on Koth maps. So yeah.
Ajay's improved a ton, like this season. Obviously I didn't play last season, but this most recent season, like I really noticed how like he's got, and every single time we would play against Vela, Cloudy would always be like, please, Ajay is going to try and kill me, please, like, protect me, because he was just constantly, he was really efficient in going for the sniper, and I feel like he would get a large number of picks, not always like combo picks, but he would constantly get sniper and things like that, whereas Mezzo, I feel, kind of goes for the big plays more often, like medic, demo, things like that. I think Ajay just gets like a large abundance of picks, like the sniper, which is obviously a key. I don't know whether that's like Joe influence, where he's constantly telling people to kill the sniper. But like, yeah, like it was like, I just know in the final, I was just constantly watching right back because I just knew Ajay was always just going to be close around the corner. He just, yeah, really, really improved.
Yeah, Ajay sort of always had the sniper focus mentality. Because he had it when we played against him when he was on Ixo's team. So yeah, he's just gotten better and better at it, so it makes more of a difference.
And that concludes us with the last class, getting the winner in the name of Toast. First spot goes to him, and very well deserved as well this time. And looking at how many Strong Opinions nominations, how many Strong Opinions actually first places we've got, it's been pretty dominating this season, even though Fela got really close to it. I mean, that final game was pretty close, and look at the tables as well, it's 26. But before we conclude, we have 2 more sections to go with a 1 bonus one at the end. So stay tuned here as we're moving on to the premiere debut of the season. And we have 2 representatives of the top 3 nominees here with us on this award show.
We do indeed. And also, we do not have a Strong Opinions player nominated. So this no Strong Opinions player will win this category. So... good news for everyone. Okay, the nominations. We did have Nubbi, Nipnop, and STiNGHAN. Nubbi had by far the most nominations, by the way, with 5 out of the 6 teams. STiNGHAN 3 and Nipnop 2. Just as a random fact alongside. And our public voted Nipnop in 3rd place. 10.6%, and so it is between our 2 guests. Debut of the season.
Hold it. Wait.
I know someone's heart is beating right now. Debut of the season goes to Nubbi, 51%, and STiNGHAN 38%. Congratulations. How do you feel? Is this a dream come true for you?
Yeah. I'm pretty happy. That's all I can say.
STiNGHAN. Coming close, though.
Yeah, definitely. Like I had no chance with Nubbi. He played really well. He improved a lot this season, and he came first. So yeah, totally deserved.
Shows. And then STiNGHAN, you as well. I mean, this is the only time you can actually get this award is now, and then kind of in the future kind of have to work really hard to get any other awards. But Nubbi as well, I think like him on the soldier on open squad has been really kind of the most detrimental point. Like open squad have really good players individually. It kind of fell apart in the planning and the cooperation game. But you had some really amazing plays on your own. You had, the picks, and you have Murphy on the demo. It kind of came together, and you managed to pull through to the third place in front of Envision, who were playing together for a bit longer, right? So you had those strategies and cohesion already done. But, it's just in the end, it's such is life, right? Better people win, and there's always the next season.
Well said. There's nothing to add here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to bring up the spirits, this STiNGHAN, because he's close to my heart, and I hope to see more of Envision in the Premiership, especially now that Kitty is known to be joining the ranks, and it's going to be a very interesting season if we see most of the teams here actually playing for one more season, season 17. But before we actually talk about this as well, the ultimate, or almost the ultimate, award of the season, the best player of the season. So overall, the best player, and 3 nominees, DCS.
Yes, this is my favorite category, and I feel like this has been the case for the last at least 3 seasons, but we actually had 3 guys nominated from the Prem teams who also each won their category tonight. Which is really satisfying because it really shows that these were 3 of the genuinely best players of the season, right? And we had nominated for best player of the season Cloudy, Joe, and Wiethoofd. And just to say that every team exactly nominated all these players 3 times. All the teams nominated players 3 times. Which is a lot for best player of the season because there are so many players to choose from. So you usually don't have 6 nominations, 5 nominations like in the classes. And it was a close vote. It was the closest vote if you consider all 3, because all 3 players are between 8.6%. So there's that. I'll continue with the 3rd place. 3rd place goes to the demo man, Joe, with 29.9%. 2nd place goes to Cloudy, 31.6%. And player of the season is Wiethoofd with 38.5%. My future teammate, as I just found out in chat. Congratulations.
Man, that was really close, surprisingly.
So how many votes was it in between the top 3, numbers wise?
Well, Cloudy and Joe were really close. There were just 7 in between them. And Wiethoofd got 27 more than Cloudy. So, yeah.
That's really close.
Between all of them, it was 34 votes.
Wow. I guess agree with this. I mean, this is very close. It could be either way. It was basically at the end, to just flip off the coin. It's like a couple of dozen votes is really nothing in terms of the ETF2L. So, honestly, Wiethoofd getting first, in my opinion, yes, well deserved. But the runner-ups really did not stick out too much at all. Joe in UFC had a season of his life. Cloudy had a season of his life.
I mean, if you're going to listen to the drunken ramblings of the 2nd best pyro in ETF2L, Vclox told me many times while he was inebriated at iSeries that our entire team was not very good. The only person who was good on our team was Wiethoofd because he kills everyone over and over again. So I mean, if you want to listen to V-Clocks, Viljak is the one and only good player on our team. I don't know, like I think whoever won that would have been deserving. Like Joe, we talked about him. Like each one, like you said, they won their class of the season. Like they're all nuts players. Viljak has this thing where like he doesn't play like when we used to play with the Lash, and he doesn't even really play kind of like when we used to play with Funds. But Viljak just kind of he holds W and then he'll go and kill 10 people and then he'll die, and then he'll spawn and then he'll go and kill like another 10 people and then he just keeps doing it. And he's got like crazy. Like I think he got 18 med picks in one game or something crazy like that. Like he got the most med picks out of everyone this season, which normally you see spies getting it and stuff like that, or soldiers. He got 33. STiNGHAN was second with 20. He got 33 as a scout. Like it's crazy. And Cloudy's just probably like just gets the most kills. He just constantly kills everybody all the time. So I mean, those three guys are probably the best players of Highlander this season, without a doubt.
Yeah, and I think like Viljak is one of those players that like picks up a class and he's just good at it. Like he's an insane spy as well, or used to be at least. I think if he really put work into it, he could give Toast one for his money. And when I played high with him a couple of seasons ago, he just played Demo Man. And I'm also pretty sure he was like top 3 Demo Man in like Div 1. So without even trying, I think he ran like dumb weapons and we had like 8 calls, didn't scrim, whatever. So he's like, just like very talented overall and like an insanely smart player as well. Like I really love playing with Viljak because he understands the game.
He's such a good kid, and he's so like lovable. Because I remember back in the day, I started playing in Premiership, and that was for Jasmine Esports, and then we changed the name back to Fair Enough. And actually, that was the season I asked Viljak, "Hey, you want to play for us? Because we've seen what you do on Spy. Do you want to play for us?" And he was playing for Div 1 at the time, or even Div 2. And he was like, "Yeah, sure. You know what? That's a good step up. Let's play in Prem." And it was his first season in Prem, and he did amazing. I'm not even sure if he got the Prem debut, but he was definitely nominated. And then he just took off. Like, he never really left Premiership. He always played at top level on Spy, on Scout. He's such a keen gamer, and he's such a nice guy IRL as well. I mean, this kid is insane. And
yeah, but Cloudy is a dick, by the way.
Oh, whoa.
I'm just kidding. We're praising Viljak so much, I just wanted to give some contrast. No, like Cloudy is really nice as well, and he's very huggable.
Aww. But so, yeah, that's the best player of the season.
All the award winners.
All the award winners. Well, how about you do it, DCS?
I can do it.
You're the lead admin.
Yeah. So just to recap for everybody who wasn't there, we had Scout of the Season Viljak, Soldier of the Season JakeowatyLegs, Pyro Yahoo, Demo Joe, Heavy Emilio Estevez, Engineer Spamfest, Medic CeeJaey, Sniper Cloudy, Spy Toast, Debut of the Season Nubbi, and just now Best Player of the Season Viljak.
And usually at this time of the award show, there will be an award for the best caster of the season. However, this time around, we collectively decided that because we had so many different casters playing together at all times, or casting together, and it's just not a real good way to grade them or nominate them, because that would be kind of unfair for the other casters, we decided to kind of switch it up a bit, DCS, didn't we? And we decided to give out the shout-outs to all the casters that did participate in this season. There's a list of them as well, and they all casted here on Critscast, and we're very thankful for them to be joining us, and of course casting more games in the future, hopefully. But yeah, this is just going to be a list of good mentions, as well as a special award going to special someone. But DCS, how about you bring us into this?
Yeah, so just to explain the thought process behind it. We did have too many casters, like you said, not too many casters. We had a pleasant number of casters, but who also did not have an insane amount of casts under the belt. So we chose to go that way because Wiethoofd, he has been around for quite a time. He has his fingers in everything. He is in TFTV, he's in Oz Fortress, and he has put in an insane amount of work on Critscast as well over the last 4 or 5 seasons, ever since Blackout TV died. Even then, back then, he was supporting John. And yeah, we would basically want to give him a shout out, like taking this opportunity to also shout out the production and the people behind the scenes, because they don't have their award usually. So yeah, everybody give a lot of love and hearts in chat for Wiethoofd. He's amazing, and I hope he continues to be amazing and put in the work for the TF2 community. I tip my hat.
Hat is tipped. Honestly, Wiethoofd is he's still producing this. He's not even in his home, and he's producing this for us. And he's the man that without whom we actually would not be able to cast this. We would not be able to produce any stuff on the Crits cast. We had obviously Foppish helping us out more often than not, but without Wiethoofd, him setting up everything and making sure everything works and always being on time, or even before time, way before, to set everything up so everything is fine, and then his support throughout the stream and all the things that he's done for this. Just one award on ETF2L is not enough, but maybe it's a good start.
Yeah, it's a it's some kind of recognition, and I hope he appreciates it. And I think he does. Of course, we can't really pay him, like for all the work he does. So we try sometimes.
It's something that he deserves, and I think like everybody agrees with that decision. But yeah, so the casters as well. I mean, we should probably say who was casted the most and who is really deserving to be kind of shouted out. And of course, it's Tomato with 6 casts together with 3 per season. He's been pretty much on top of every time we needed a caster. He's always there, and he's always producing amazing content. And we have Chando, Zamperoni, myself with 3 casts, CeeJaey as well. We can't forget about him, big man himself, and George Bai, Gamma, a new addition here, Ballsy, and Extra Solar as well. They're with 1 cast each. So this is basically the Crits cast team as it stands for this season. We'll see how it goes for the next season, but it's been a plethora of casters this season, and I can't understand why it was very difficult to pick like 1 or 2 or 3 casters out of the whole list here.
Yeah. CeeJaey, what do you think? Who's your favorite caster?
I was just looking at all the different flags and like the variety of accents. I love it. It's probably just me. I love having all different accents when people cast. I really liked Chando's casting. I like Chando's and Jake's like what's the word? It's not cohesion, like the chemistry they have. Dynamic, yeah. And they have like some nice little like thing going on together. Like it worked really well at Copenhagen Games like months ago. And I like it when they're together on the casts. Like they work really well together. And yeah, like I think everyone there, like Extra Solar as well. He came in like halfway through the season and did pretty well. And Balls, he's done like production and casting. And it's just I like it. I like the fact that we've got so many different voices now, like talking over the games. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, I agree. And as you see on your screens now, we have the tables up for the all-time Highlander award totals. Only CeeJaey adding from the first spots here with 1. He's up to 11 total. Steve obviously left the scene. He's 10. He's 10 total. I'm sorry, he's 10 total.
I keep telling Steve this. I'm trying to bait him back, but it's not working.
Yeah. Toast is edging in on Steve at 7. And
that might bait him back.
Obviously,
yeah.
Amazing Lazy Bear still in 4th place. Nobody adding. We have Jackie Legs with 3 total awards now. Viljak adding 1, 2 to his legacy, actually. The first 2 Viljak ever won. I wasn't aware of that. I kind of expected him to have already won 1. Weird. And then we had, obviously, Cloudy, Emilio, Yahoo getting 1. So, you guys, whoever is on that table, you are one of the best Highlander players we ever had in Europe. How does that feel?
Quiet. Feels quiet and calm. No, CeeJaey, I mean, 10 awards. Most of them came from caster this season, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it's 6 and 5.
Yeah.
6 and 4, 5 and 5, yeah. But we don't tell people. I mean, Admirable's near the top in the 6s one, and he's never won a gaming one. It's all been casting, so just don't tell people that. I think it's 5 and 5. But yeah, I mean, Yeah.
All right.
Whatever, you know.
So this would kind of conclude our award show for tonight, I think. All the awards have been given. Congratulations to the winners. Any last words from all of you, actually? Let's start with DCS, as he's right below me on the list here. DCS, where can we find you? What to expect next season for ETF2L? Bring us up to date.
Well, we haven't really prepared much for Highlander season yet because we were busy setting up the 6th season, getting sponsors and everything in check. But, you know, we can promise you that it's going to be fun. We're going to promise you that's at least one new map like we used to do. Or like not one new map, but we are rotating one map out, another map comes in. So there's some variety there. And maybe, if we're really lucky, there may even be a prize pool, but we are not sure yet.
Time to get back into Team Fortress 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Porky, how about yourself? When can we find you? What to expect from your team next season?
The team will be called Joyotech next season.
Good little pun.
It'll be mostly the same with those 3 changes we said earlier. So yeah, it'll be good.
Looking strong already. So newbie, how about you? Or where are you off to again?
I try to find a Prem team where I can main, or go to Victory Road.
Victory Road.
What's that mean?
Div 2. They are going to Div 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh. You got nominated for Prem debut and then just like go back to Div 2, right?
if I don't find a Prem team, then maybe, yeah.
Of course someone's going to pick you up. No, someone's going to pick you up. Don't worry about it. And then CeeJaey, how about you? Or what do you plan for the next season with Strong Opinions? Are you planning on staying together as usual?
I don't know. I would just see.
You don't know?
I didn't know. I mean, we didn't play season 15, so we just kind of seeing how it goes. Like, we weren't expecting to come back after the last time. It was just some people fancied playing, and enough people were up for it. But, you know, people get jobs and people get busy, and, you know, stuff happens. So we'll see what happens, like, closer to the time, whether it's worthwhile playing this season. And yeah, I guess keep it posted. We're just playing 6s until then, and then we'll see how it goes.
You wanna be in practice heading up to Copenhagen Games, right? Like you don't wanna play LAN rusty.
I mean, last time we played LAN, like Steve and Amelia hadn't played TF2 for like a year, so I mean that's not a good argument. But yeah, I mean Copenhagen's kind of like something we keep an eye on, and yeah, like I said, we might play next season, we might not. We'll see what people say as we get closer.
Well, if you be looking for a sub medic, just give me a call. Just give me a call. You know, I'm always up for roster rating on the best team.
Poland make the best medics, apparently. So
yeah. I never won the medic of the season. I never really won the Premiership either. I was just kind of there hanging out, you know, like this all came from casting. But before we talk about myself, STiNGHAN, how about you? What do you guys plan with Envision, and where can we find you next?
We got Prem spot for next season. We're gonna play. I know about roster yet. I don't know if I'm playing because I might be inactive for 1 season, but you know it's unsure things yet. Hopefully I'm gonna play, and you know I'm gonna keep Ditto, Tersho, and the rest of team. Because that was really fun to play with them.
That's good to know. Envision staying together.
Yeah,
that's great. And then newbie. Newbie, you said yourself that Open Squad unfortunately folding, which we will not be seeing them anymore in the season, but it makes a room for another team to come in. So really curious to see who decides to actually put a team together.
STiNGHAN is reforming, isn't it?
I think so too. They're coming back.
Yeah.
Because they have won in the past against Strong Opinions. So this season we fail a Kitty, Strong Opinions, and then STiNGHAN coming up, and then Envision staying in the league. That's going to be an interesting season. It's gonna be a pretty good thing, but you know we're about to be done with the award show, everybody. So if you have any sort of shout outs to the team, of course keep them PG-13. But if you have any shout outs, just this is your time to shine on the stream.
I think we start with CeeJaey.
Shout out to my team. Thanks for the season. It was really fun, and to my 60s team. It's fun at the moment. I hope it stays fun. And thanks to all you guys for coming to the show, and Jake for hosting, and DCS for all of the awards, and Wiethoofd for doing all the background stuff. Even though he's mega busy and not even at home, he's still trying to sort stuff out. And yeah, thanks for a great season, and look forward to either playing or casting next time around.
And then, how about STiNGHAN?
Just to handle players in general, to casters, to my team Invision, to my UGC team fucking opponent. Shoutouts to Drezok, Redu, Janek and Bayer, and of course Wiethoofd.
And there you go, Porky.
Alright, shout out to Middle, shout out to Moist Penguin in a bikini, shout out to Vclox the Furry, shout out to Mason, shout out to JoyoTech, and shout out to Omni5.gg.
And there you go, Nubby.
Shoutouts to Invis, my best friend, Mezzo, San, Tram, Real, Sasami, Redwood, Chibe, Soldi, Case, and Open Squad, and AsiaPax.tf.
Ah, that's a list, the whole list.
I wish I had that many friends.
Yeah, in TFT...
All my Hungarian friends.
And in TF2, you don't usually get that many friends. So GCS, how about you?
It's gonna take a while. So first of all, I wanna shout out the ETF2L staff. I do that all the time, and it may be nagging, but without these guys, we wouldn't have a season. So thanks to Porky and all the staff committee that made the season happen. Shout out to the Critcast crew who showed up for the casters, the producers, like we said. Shout out to Wiethoofd, obviously, well-deserved award. Shout out to the Copenhagen Games crew, which I'm lucky enough to be a part of, but more on that, I guess, on this channel later over the months. Shout out to Herb's Army, my Sixers team, one of the longest-standing Sixers teams ever in ETF2 history. Shout out to Doctors of Mediocrity, who won mid this season, so they're officially the most mediocre team in ETF2L. Shout out to Tomato for putting in a ton of work this season, and shout out to Jack, the dog you were watching on screen, and replacement of my webcam tonight.
And then I'll be wrapping up with my shout-outs of my own. So obviously, shout out to Wiethoofd on the camera. He's kind of like no gay friendship here. With him, he's the best man. He's brought me into Critscast, and speaking of Critscast, obviously has to be Aggro, who is one of the most wonderful people that TF2 has. Very welcoming, very warm, and it's just a lovable person overall. Shout outs to my old teams as well. I mean, first one, Chrysum Moore, wherever they are. Grand Jabub as well, who's still playing. The shout outs to One Round Wonders, shout outs to Fair Enough, shout outs to Flood, Pinky, shout outs to basically everybody I played with, because this game has really brought together a lot of amazing people, and I'm really glad to be part of this community. But on this very teary note, for me at least, thank you very much for watching. Shout outs to you in the chat as well for joining us for this. And we'll be seeing you soon in Season 17 of the ETF2L Highlander with some more action, even more better players. And we'll see how it goes in a few months' time. But for now, take care, everybody, and thank you, everybody here, all our guests, for joining.
Hi, old beaver! Away!